Welcome to EduRev.
Hello everyone, welcome to EduRev. This is Saranandula. In the previous few videos, we have discussed about the division of Himalayas. So we have discussed that the entire Himalayan region can be divided into the Himalayan ranges, the Trans-Himalayas and the Eastern Hills. Now, in this video, we are going to discuss about the regional division of Himalayas. That means we are dividing the Himalayan mountains on the basis of the region or area in which they are present. Clear? So after we discuss the regional division of Himalayas, we are done with the division of Himalayas concept, and then we can start discussing the other concepts. So Himalayas can be divided into the following three broad divisions: the Western Himalayas, the Central Himalayas, and the Eastern Himalayas. Now let me just give you a broad overview here. So just consider this as river Indus, and this as river Kali. This is river Tista and river Brahmaputra. Now, in between river Indus and river Kali, you have the Western Himalayas. Between river Kali and river Tista, you have the Central Himalayas. Between river Tista and river Brahmaputra, you have the Eastern Himalayas. Clear? Now, with this idea in our mind, let us just begin our discussion with the first one, which is the Western Himalayas. Now, Western Himalayas, stretching for 880 kilometers between the Indus River in the west and the Kali River in the east. So, I will discuss where Kali River is. Please don't worry about that. But as of now, just understand that the Western Himalayas, they are stretching for 880 kilometers between the Indus River in the west and the Kali River in the east. And Western Himalayas are spread across three states: Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, and Uttarakhand. Clear? Now, we can further divide Western Himalayas into three parts. First is the Kashmir Himalayas, next the Himachal Himalayas, and the Kumaon Himalayas. Clear, right? So, between Indus River and Kali River, you have Western Himalayas. So, just keep this in mind. And you have to remember about the rivers, because when we discuss about regional division of Himalayas, we divide taking rivers as the boundaries. So please try to keep the names of rivers in mind. It is very, very important from exam perspective. So clear? Now, where is Kali River? So Kali River is also called as Sharda River or Mahakali River. So please keep these names in mind. Very, very important from exam perspective. So Kali River originates at a place called Kalpani in Uttarakhand. So Kalpani is roughly here, very close to the border between Uttarakhand and Nepal. And then river Kali flows like this. So river Kali flows along Nepal's western border with India. Clear? So this point is very, very important. River Kali flows along Nepal's western border with India. And finally, river Kali joins Ghagra River, which is a tributary of Ganga. Clear, right? Now, let us discuss about Kashmir Himalayas. So they are situated almost entirely in the union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Now this region has a large number of glaciers. Now the Indus is the most important river which passes through this area. To the north of Indus River, we have the Karakoram range. And already we have discussed about Karakoram range in the previous videos, right? So we know that Karakoram range has the highest number of glaciers and very large glaciers outside the polar region. So in the Karakoram range, we have discussed about two famous glaciers, the Siachen Glacier and the Bayafo Glacier. So just keep one thing in mind: Karakoram range has the largest and the highest number of glaciers in the world outside the polar region. Clear? Now, the Ladakh Plateau and the Kashmir Valley are the two important areas of this region. So Ladakh Plateau and Kashmir Valley are two important features of the Kashmir Himalayas. Now we have discussed previously that Ladakh Plateau has an average elevation of 5,000 meters above sea level, and Ladakh Plateau is the highest plateau in India. And then we also discussed about the Kashmir Valley. So we have discussed that between the Pir Panjal range and the Zaskar range lies the valley of Kashmir. And few million years back, Kashmir Valley used to be a basin. And this basin got filled up with sediments, which are carried by the Himalayan rivers. And that is how the Kashmir Valley has formed. Clear? Now, the main characteristic features of the Kashmir Himalayas are high snow-covered mountains, deep valleys, and high mountain passes. So in the previous videos, we have also discussed the meaning of mountain pass. So what do you mean by mountain pass? A mountain pass is a navigable route through a mountain range. So to cross over a mountain range, you have a route that is nothing but mountain pass. So Zojila Pass is a very important pass in the Kashmir Himalayas. So actually the word La means a way or a pass in Tibetan language. So you don't have to call it as Zojila Pass. You can simply call it Zojila or Zoji Pass. As simple as that. So Zojila is a very important pass in Kashmir Himalayas. It is a high mountain pass in the Union Territory of Ladakh. So the National Highway 1, this point is very, very important, guys. The National Highway 1 between Srinagar and Leh traverses the pass. So the National Highway 1, which connects Srinagar and Leh, it is laid through the Zojila Pass. Clear? Now, so this is an image of National Highway 1 through Zojila. As you can see, it's very beautiful, and also the road is a bit dangerous, especially during winters because it becomes very slippery there. Anyway, it's very beautiful, and you have to actually travel through this road on bike or car, once in a lifetime experience. So anyway, moving on to the next division, the Himachal Himalayas. Okay, now all the three ranges of Himalayas are represented in this area. So in Himachal Himalayas, you find all the three ranges of Himalayas. You find the Great Himalayan Range, you find the Middle Himalayas, you also find Shivaliks. And Middle Himalayas here are Pir Panjal Range and Dhauladhar Range. And not only these, you also find the Zaskar Range of Trans Himalayas in this area. Clear? So what did we understand? In the Himachal Himalayas, we find all the three Himalayan ranges, the Great Himalayas, the Middle Himalayas, and the Shivaliks. And not only that, we also find the Zaskar range of Trans Himalayas in this area. Clear? Now, the main peaks are above 6,000 meter. So while discussing about the Great Himalayan Range, we have discussed that it is the world's highest mountain chain. With an average elevation of 6,100 meter, the Great Himalayan Range is the highest mountain range in the world. So the main peaks in this area are above 6,000 meter high. And the southern slopes are forested, while the northern slopes are bare, and they merge with the edge of Tibetan Plateau. Clear? Now, let us discuss the important mountain passes. The reason why I'm discussing about these mountain passes is you have got many questions in the exam before. You're getting questions about mountain passes in match the following form. So these are very important, guys. Please don't take them lightly. These are very, very important from exam perspective. So Rohtang La, Baralacha La, and Shipki La, these are the important mountain passes in Himachal Himalayas. So first, let us discuss about the Rohtang Pass. Rohtang Pass is a high mountain pass situated at an elevation of 3,980 meters above sea level on the eastern end of Pir Panjal Range. So it connects the Kulu Valley with the Lahore and Spiti valleys of Himachal Pradesh. So this is an image of a road which is passing through the Rohtang Pass. So as you can see, it's very beautiful, right? Now, let us discuss about Baralacha Pass or Baralacha La. So it is situated at an elevation of 4,850 meters above the sea level. Okay, so it is a high mountain pass in Zaskar range. So please remember this. Rohtang Pass, Pir Panjal range. Baralacha Pass, Zaskar range. That is how you are getting match the following questions in the exam. So please remember this. So Baralacha Pass connects Lahore district in Himachal Pradesh to Leh district in Ladakh. And the Leh Manali highway, which is again a very famous and beautiful tourist spot, very famous for riders, bike riders. It passes through the Baralacha Pass. Clear? Next, the Himachal Himalayan region has beautiful valleys of Kulu, Kangra and Spiti. Now this is an image of Spiti Valley with the beautiful Spiti river passing through. Clear, right? So with this we are done with the Himachal Himalayas. Next let us go to Kumaon Himalayas. Now Kumaon Himalayas are present in Uttarakhand and they extend from Satluj river to Kali river. You can find Satluj river here right in the map. So Satluj river and Kali river. I'm marking the Kali river here. So as we have previously discussed, Kali river forms Nepal's western boundary with India. So this is just to give you a rough idea. Kumaon Himalayas are first present in Uttarakhand and they extend from Satluj river in the west to Kali river in the east. So simply remember that Kumaon Himalayas are in Uttarakhand and they are in between the Satluj river and the Kali river. So the main peaks of Kumaon Himalayas are Nanda Devi, Kamet, Trishul and Badrinath. Now the Gangotri Glacier, which is the source of the sacred Ganga river, is present in this region, the region of Kumaon Himalayas. And the lesser Himalayas in Kumaon Himalayas are Mussoorie and Nagtiba ranges. Clear? So the lesser Himalayas are represented by Mussoorie and Nagtiba ranges in Kumaon Himalayas. And this area also has the famous Nainital Lake, which is a very famous and beautiful tourist spot. So just look at the image of Nainital Lake. So actually I've gone boating on Nainital Lake and you definitely have to visit this place if you haven't. The Shivaliks in this region are about 900 to 1000 meter high. And there is one thing we need to keep in mind here. The Shivaliks run to the south of Mussoorie range between Ganga and Yamuna rivers. Clear? Now, the flat valleys between the lesser Himalayas and the Shivalik ranges are called dunes or duns, of which the Dun Valley is the most famous. So we already discussed about all these things while we discussed the Shivalik mountains. So if you have any doubt here, kindly refer to my video on Shivaliks and then come back to this, you'll get a lot of clarity. So while discussing Shivaliks, we have discussed that between the middle Himalayas and Shivalik hills, we have some flat valleys which are called dunes or duns. We also discussed how these flat valleys are formed. Okay, so as of now, just keep one thing in mind. The largest valley is the Dun Valley, and Dehradun, the capital of Uttarakhand, is part of the Dun Valley. Clear, right? So I hope you understood this. So we have finished the discussion of Western Himalayas. So first we understood that Western Himalayas extend between, I'm just writing here, Indus River and Kali River, Western Himalayas. And you can divide Western Himalayas into Kashmir Himalayas, Himachal Himalayas, and Kumaon Himalayas. Okay, so we have discussed about all the three: Kashmir Himalayas, Himachal Himalayas, and Kumaon Himalayas. So with this, we are done with the concept of Western Himalayas. Now, let us move on to the next one, which is Central Himalayas, or simply Nepal Himalayas. So first, where these are located? So Central Himalayas are located in between Kali River on the west and Teesta River on the east. So between Kali River on the west and Teesta River on the east, you find the Central Himalayas. Clear? So just look at this point. The Central Himalayas stretch for a distance of about 800 km between Kali River in the west and Teesta River in the east. And the Great Himalayan Range attains maximum height in this region. So there are some very famous mountains in this region. You have Mount Everest, which is the highest mountain in the world. And then you also have Mount Kanchenjunga, which is the third highest mountain in the world. And apart from this, Mount Makalu, Annapurna, Dhaulagiri, all these are located in this region, the Central Himalayas or the Nepal Himalayas. Clear? Now, in between the greater and lesser Himalayas are the Kathmandu and Pokhara valleys. So we know about the different ranges of Himalayas, right? So the northernmost is Great Himalayas. In the middle, you find Lesser Himalayas or Middle Himalayas. And to the south of that, you find Shivalik Hills. So in between Lesser Himalayas and Great Himalayas, you find the valleys of Kathmandu and Pokhara. Clear? Now, the Shivalik range comes very close to the Lesser Himalayas towards the east, and it is almost non-existent beyond the Gandak River. So just imagine these to be the Middle Himalayas. So the Shivalik range comes very close to the Middle Himalayas. And once we cross the Gandak River, the Shivalik range is almost non-existent. It is absent. And this is Gandak River on map. The red color line represents Gandak River. Clear? So guys, I understand that all these points seem to be very factual, but these points are very important from exam perspective. You cannot skip any point. You cannot take any point lightly. So please don't take these things lightly. That is my sincere advice to you. Now moving on, the last division, Eastern Himalayas or Assam Himalayas. So they are situated between Teesta River on the west and Brahmaputra River on the east. So in between Teesta River and Brahmaputra River, you have the Eastern Himalayas or simply Assam Himalayas. Clear? Now, the Eastern Himalayas occupy mainly the areas of Arunachal Pradesh and Bhutan. So guys, with this, we are done with the concept of regional division of Himalayas. So I hope you found this video useful and informative. So thank you so much for watching this video. Keep learning and I wish you all the best.